Today at the Brown County Reforestation Camp, droves of cross-country skiers headed for the trails.
Pretty anxious. Looks like a nice day.
You've been looking forward to this for a while?
Yeah, I have been.
The sun was pleasantly warm upon the face, the trees covered with a beautiful blanket of white, and there was almost a total silence here, except for the occasional squeaking of skis gliding over the snow. And I had to be wearing boots.
It's such a beautiful day, and we wanted to get out of the house and get a little exercise, have a good time, just loosen up.
It was a day for folks to be one with nature. Many skied solo, some in pairs, but this was perhaps the most interesting pack of skiers we saw all day. Was it nice out there today?
Beautiful, yes, beautiful.
Scenery was nice?
Oh, gorgeous.
Throughout the 15 miles of winding Reforestation Camp trails, you could see skiers gliding effortlessly through the trees.
I like getting out in the woods. That's what I like most about it.
Is today perfect for that?
Yeah, today's perfect.
Just being outside, makes the winter go fast. Instead of being a shut-in, we're out here enjoying what the elements give us, and that. So it's real nice.
For cross-country skiers, this was a February day to cherish. Jeff Forrest, Action 2 News, Brown County.
Bill, good, thank you, George. Finally tonight, for the first time in a long time, the Green Bay Packers are above the 500 mark and playing exciting football. In tonight's Forrest File, Jeff tells us their electrifying play has jolted souvenir sales, too.
Green Bay Packer football is exciting again. It seems everyone wants a piece of the pack. The Packer Frenzy wiped out the Packer Pro Shop inventory last Sunday.
Minkowski's number is sold out. Mandrich is sold out at this point. And it doesn't matter what number it is right now. If it's a Packer official jersey, it'll sell.
Can you get them in fast?
No, I can't.
Bob King drove up from Kenosha today to buy a media guide to send back to his Packer fanatic brother in California.
If we go to the game, everybody's excited, They're out there winning something, see?
Packer backers are busy trying on jerseys. Number 77 might be a little bit big, and buying $200 Packer telephones.
Now it's so exciting because we're not thinking of always the glory days, Now it's the future. I think we got a pretty good one going.
Packer Hall of Fame officials say they've got a good thing going, too. Compared to a year ago at this time when the Pack was 0-5, attendance at the Hall has more than doubled, and souvenir sales have quadrupled. Does that excitement kind of make you want to come in this place?
I would anyway, but it just stirs it up that much more. I can't wait anytime they're on the games, or if I can get there, or if I can watch them on TV, whatever.
It's just my size, XXL. I agree with my hat. Watch the game in it. Amazing, isn't it, how much difference a year makes? Just think, when the Packers beat the Vikings on Sunday, how crazy everybody will be. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go.
A little louder, Jeff.
In tonight's special assignment, Jeff Forrest reports on the facts about flood insurance.
Well, under the homeowner's policy, there's no coverage for flood.
It's a message that Bob Fish has repeated many times since Saturday, and he says the voice at the other end often sounds shocked to hear it.
We've been averaging about 42 calls an hour on the flood damage from policyholders that, wanting to know if they're covered, what's covered under a homeowner's policy.
Most agents say their policies cover sewer backups or sump pump breakdowns, but when the water floods through the windows or over the doorstep, homeowners need a special insurance policy from the federal government. It's sold for the same price by all licensed agents. It's commonly twice as expensive as a normal homeowner's policy, but it's the only policy that will help in a situation like this. Most lending institutions that offer mortgages for homes located on a floodplain require the homeowners to have flood insurance. In fact, many local insurance agents we talked to today say 95% of the flood insurance plans they sell are to people who have to have it. They say otherwise, people feel it's too expensive, and many figure water like this won't ever come near their homes. Milt Perrins has only sold one flood insurance policy during his 31 years in the insurance business. Perrins usually asks those considering the policy how much they can afford to lose.
If this happens every 12 years at $200, that's $2,400. Can you handle losses greater than that? And that's what they have to think about.
Donna Letourneau's house was hit hard by this recent flood. Unfortunately, she dropped her coverage several years ago.
It seemed like sort of a thing you're spending money on something you really didn't, but now that you need it, it's too late.
Well, she's
Nevada now?
Oh, yes, I do.
Jeff Forrest, Action 2 News, Green Bay.
And Asia.
The sound heard round the lakeshore. Late this morning, 80-year-old Ben Fisher was working hard at clearing a path through the fresh snow. How much?
Oh, about 5 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Easy shoveling, hard shoveling?
Ain't too bad. Once in a while, you're wet in the bottom where the water didn't freeze.
You've probably seen worse, huh?
Yeah, oh yes.
Of all the places to be today along the lakeshore, this may be the nastiest weather right here at the Manitowoc Marina. Believe it or not, there's one man somewhere out here who thinks this is great weather for ice fishing. For a few hours, Elton Christopherson forgot about the shoveling and hazardous rotting and tended to his tip-ups.
I figured something to be doing early this morning, but during the storm,
The storm didn't stop you.
no. Like I says, I'm one of the foolish ones to be out here.
Traffic slowed to a crawl in downtown Manitowoc, and folks struggled just to cross the street. But Mike Hecker didn't let the blizzard-like storm keep him from his daily window washing duties.
They won't stay clear long at all.
Even in a snowstorm, you gotta do windows, huh?
That's what I'm sure. And if people think this is a blizzard, I've seen it a lot worse than this.
Mike may be right, but as our team report continues, John Mercurio says today's snowfall and high winds were enough to cause headaches for travelers.
Runways. Have to listen to the radio back home. In tonight's Forrest File, Jeff tells us all was quiet in Hilbert when the hometown boys took the field.
Good luck, Wolves. We love our Wolves. Way to go, Wolves. Hilbert cried wolves today, but there was no one left on Main Street to hear. They were all at the game.
How many folks live in this community?
I think about 1,100.
How many do you think are left here today?
Not too many.
Where are they?
Oh, they're all down at the game.
Patrick and his mom cooked up food for customers at their Hilbert Drive-In and kept an ear on the radio.
Go Wolves, go. The Hilbert Wolves, and they're leading 14-0.
This is what the sign read outside the Hilbert Meat Market. While his daughters and grandchildren were in Madison enjoying the game, owner James Leapsight had to take care of business. But he kept tabs on his Wolves.
The third quarter of action with the score 14-6, Hilbert over Elk Mound.
Would you rather be someplace else?
Yes. Like to be down in Madison. Football game.
Why aren't you?
Well, somebody's got to stay home and keep the home fires burning.
But the biggest crowd in town gathered around the radio at Alber's Bar.
What do you think of this team?
Great. Did a lot for the community, brought a lot of people into the community.
Finally, the silence was broken. This day belonged to the Hilbert Wolves and their faithful fans. Today's game was a perfect ending to a perfect season for the Hilbert Wolves football team, and even though the game was played hundreds of miles from Hilbert's home stadium, this whole community shared in the celebration when the final gun sounded. And if you think the post-game activities were quite a sight, townsfolk around here say you ain't seen nothing yet. Jeff Forrest, Action 2 News, Hilbert. Who will pay for recycling? The state Senate bill called for businesses to pick up a $30 million tab, but that was voted down. And area business leaders could not be more pleased.
I was concerned, and many of the people in the business community in Green Bay were concerned about the funding mechanism, which was arbitrary and uneven in the way it applied to various businesses, and of course it only focused on business and not on all of us who are causing the waste stream problem that we have today.
Jim Shepin manages a Green Bay recycling center and says he agrees with the Senate vote not to require a 5-cent return on containers.
If the thing was enacted and everything, we'd have to turn around and probably separate each product by its name and everything and keep it in different items, and I think this is going to just help us along.
Deborah Koser says there is so little left of the bill, she's not sure if it will accomplish anything.
Businesses are going to have to share a brunt of the cost because a lot of the products that they're generating are things that are not recyclable. They're using materials that are not recycled, and they're producing materials and products that are not able to be recycled.
In voting down and changing certain provisions of the recycling bill, the state Senate said that recycling is a statewide problem, and all taxpayers must pay for it equally through general state taxes. Jeff Forrest, Action 2 News, Brown County. These Green Bay East and West high school students are touring the Brown County Library at a time when most of their peers are out enjoying a summer vacation. The tour is part of a 6-week-long Upward Bound summer camp at the University of Wisconsin Green Bay. The camp is free to these students who were recommended by their own high school counselors.
They have potential to do college work, but for some reason they are not motivated to keep up their grades so that they will be accepted when they apply to college.
The Upward Bound program doesn't stop after 6 weeks. It will actually monitor the students' progress throughout the upcoming school year. But during this 6-week session, they will stay right on campus, and every morning is spent working on basic skills. Ian Smith is working on his grammar skills.
This will help me prepare. If I weren't in this program, I don't know where I would have gone.
Candy Rhodes hopes to attend business college after high school.
I want to learn some math skills before I go back because I have problems in math sometimes. And maybe some grammar skills.
This is one of about a half dozen such Upward Bound programs in the state of Wisconsin. This particular program at UWGB is being funded over a 3-year period with a $160,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Education. The goal of this program is to make sure each and every one of these students continues their education past high school.
Our goal is to have them improve their academic standing so that they'll be accepted into a university or an institute of higher learning when they graduate from high school.
But the program's most basic goal is to teach these high schoolers how to help themselves. Jeff Forrest, Action 2 News, Green Bay.